Everybody, this is the special meeting of the Economic Development Advisory Board for August 1st. May I have the roll call?
Thomas Blonde. Tim Davis. Here. Carl Lentz.
Here.
Carol Killian.
Here.
Lawrence McDermott.
Here.
Ruth Traeger. Bishop Derek Triplett.
I understand Bishop Triplett is out of town, so
We do have a
we did hear
quorum.
from him. Thank you. May I hear for the approval of the minutes from June 27th?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Reports. Good morning, Rob. How are you?
Good morning, Paul Mitchell, sitting in for Rob Earhart. Basically, what's going on right now, we're working with Team Volusia very closely.
By the way, I meant that to be funny. I didn't mean it. Welcome aboard today.
Welcome. I haven't had my coffee yet.
Oh, yeah.
Working with Team Volusia, all recruiting activity has been handed over to Team Volusia, and Volusia County Economic Development is taking the lead on business retention and expansion efforts, amongst other things. And right now we're preparing for our economic development quarterly briefing, which we're gathering all permit data and analyzing that. And Rob will be presenting that information upcoming on August 10th, first August 9th to County Council, and then August 10th. So we're looking forward to seeing that. Other than that, just pretty much move on to business as you see fit.
Okay. Well, and welcome today. I'm glad
Thank
to
you.
see you.
Thank you.
And Carrie is not here for the...
Carrie has called. She says she's going to be a little late.
Okay, all right. Larry, would you like to do just a brief?
Yeah, we are
Foundation?
meeting today about Amtrak. It's going to be right here at this building, room 149B at noon. It's an ongoing effort to implement the plan to buy and develop property around Magnolia Avenue and Seagrave to put a train station, platform, and that type of thing for passenger service coming down from Jacksonville to Miami. There's 8 cities involved, and we're one of the cities that have been named. So we're working toward that. Have a nice committee, about 25, 30 people, a whole lot smarter than me, engineers and whatever else. So you know they're better, smarter than I am anyway. But I buy the sandwiches and the cold drinks, and everybody shows up, and that's what I'm there for. I'm the facilitator, as they say. On a sad note, Francine Barnes, who had been leading our healthcare initiative, her husband passed about a week ago. Coach Barnes from Mainland, I don't know if Mainland grads here remember Coach Barnes. He was only 62. He had been up there for surgery and had caught MRSA and died of complications from MRSA. So don't have really an update on that. The only other update was we do have a working website, and that's DaytonaVision.com, and so that's in working order. Got a few tweaks. We met on that earlier last week, and that'll be pretty much up to date in probably another month. Just to let you all know what Vision is, about 5 years ago, the citizens met and implemented a plan for their vision of Daytona Beach. One of which is your area in economic development. And we have started a foundation, a not-for-profit foundation of citizens to keep and implement some of those, as many of those items as possible. There's probably over 300 different things, so some of them we've had to rank a lot of them, but one of the biggest things is in the area of economic development and expansion of existing industry. So we just appreciate what AO and Precision's doing right now, and that's creating a lot of nice jobs. That's it.
Thank you, Larry. Okay, we want to jump right into our old business, crane performance.
Crane Performance Products, I just want to relate to the board that it was approved by the City Commission and is going forward to the state.
Oh, great, okay.
Yeah, I met with, what's that, you mean?
Sean Holly. Sean
Yeah,
Holly.
yeah, nice guy. I
Very
guess
nice.
it's his wife's parents own the company, and from Michigan. He gave me. I mean, I just showed up on the doorstep. The guy treated me like a king. I mean, it was really neat. From being in crane cams before, and now, it's totally different.
Totally different, yes.
You know, there's no foundry anymore, and all this. They're not trying to make 100,000 camshafts and get them out to Ford by, midnight that night or something. It's all onesies, twosies, all high performance, and it's a whole lot. I'm sure it's a whole lot more profitable for them, and it's something that we had discussed a few things that were kind of barriers, and I think that it would be a great company to get in here because there's a lot of high skilled jobs with lathes and CNC machines and that type of thing. So again, those are types of things that we can train for.
Great, good.
That company performed well for us. They were to create 22 jobs. They actually created somewhere like 32 jobs.
Wow,
Yeah.
very good. So are we all done with what they need
We're-
to do right now, or
we're-
are there more steps?
We're done with what we have to do on this
Okay.
end. It goes to the state, and they do their calculations or
Okay.
what have you.
Terrific. All right, thank you. New business, we have the AO Precision Manufacturing.
Yes, let me set it up, and then I'll have the principals come and speak with you. If you want to review the application, they're at 1870 Mason Avenue on the first page. You go to second page, they are under 1B and C. They're purchasing property. They're in a brownfield area. Under E, under the management team, we have two of the key staff members that are mentioned there that are here today, Steve Koch, who's president, and Nicholas McLean, who's working with business development. G of that same section asks for financial capacity. I want to let you know that I did review their financial statements on site, so that's not a part of the package, but I have reviewed it. Their sales factor percentage is 0.15, which is very good. Page 3, the average annual wage is going to be $38,282. 5 on page 3, they're going to grow about 90 jobs in the first 4 years. I mentioned 4 years because that is a state time period that's important for the state. So it's 90 jobs in the first 4 years, 120 jobs over the period of exemption. The total projected amount of income, payroll, is $22,203,000 and change. The hiring goal, which I know you guys would like, for Daytona Beach residents, is at 100%. If we go down to the bottom of the matrix in 10, it says the grand total is some $11,682,000 worth of investment over this period. Moving on to page 4, their current percentage of Daytona Beach residents, number 14, is at 15%, but they're going to be looking to hire more Daytona Beach residents. With that much of a lead-in, any questions of me on the application?
Okay, on the hiring of 100% Daytona residents, number 7, and they have 15% now, so the new hires.
That's correct.
Okay, so we can't have anybody from Ormond Beach or Holly Hill. You got to qualify.
It's a
but-
goal. It's
Yeah,
a
I
goal.
know, it's a
Yeah,
goal.
okay.
Okay, I just decided, don't pass up anybody from,
No other questions for me?
I guess, Emery,
Yes.
real quick, based on what I see from Morgan Gilreath's office, this is, once again, and I bring this up often, this is just based on the value of new improvements. This has nothing to do with
That's correct.
anything on the existing tax roll.
That's correct. And the way it works is whatever percentage they perform, this is 100%. If they perform at 90%, it's 90% of what this is, or 50%, or whatever the performance indicates.
Well, I'd like to hear from the gentleman. Whoever wants to go first.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you, and I'm glad to be here. It was interesting. It was just mentioned, Emery, and a little while ago that we were just in conversations with the representatives from the governor's office yesterday. We are looking at a number of things regarding this facility. I'm president of this facility and a facility up in Ohio, about 100,000 square feet up there, where we employ about 156 people. Down here, we currently have 153 with the intention of growing. Our business, primarily defense, although we do a lot of law enforcement. I encourage anybody, we're more than welcome to stop in and visit us anytime. We'd love to give you the tour of this facility. But we've identified both as an opportunity to grow our business. I do shift, the facility up there does support products that we do down here. And we are, we're trying to commingle, even though it's an independent operation down there and an independent operation at this facility. Our intention is to grow this facility. The biggest problem we have in this market is finding labor. Based on the conversation I had with the governor's representative, and ultimately we're having a conversation with the governor. We're very close to the governor in Ohio, John Kasich and his treasurer, and there's a little bit of fight. He wants us to go there. We want to, we have established in both markets, so we're going to have maybe a joint meeting between the two of them. But with that said, again, the biggest thing we're trying to do is bring and find more labor in this market. My intention right now is the 90 is a very conservative number. We have a number of contracts, long-term contracts. We're also diversifying as a company. We're into aerospace, medical, but majority of our core products is defense-related business, which requires high-skilled labor. And high-skilled labor comes with that is machinists. And, a good part of my workforce down here is from out of state. We do have a lot of local residents, but we do recruit and bring a lot of people down here. We are on a very aggressive campaign for training down here. We have an in-house training representative. Matter of fact, we have a bus on site today for the next 2 weeks called TimeWise. I don't know if you're familiar with that. They do a lot of recruiting and training people here. And we'd like to grow our business significantly down here. The $3 million investment in the business, in the building, is moving along. The question is whether we're going to put the 5, 7, or 10, and possibly as late as yesterday on some things that are going on. We may invest up to another $15 million in equipment down here, which is going to require a lot more folks. So it's been a great home for us down here. We love it, and we expect to continue to grow down here. So it's a question of how much more we can add to this market, how much can we support the market down here, and how much support will the state give us. So we're doing it on a number of different angles. What we've heard or what I've been brought up to date on so far, I'm very encouraged by it, and we're hoping that everything will get approved. And we are, with our type of business, I'll add to that, one of the restrictions, certainly not material, we buy a lot of steel and forgings, which we buy right from the factory. Sometimes our equipment manufacturers, which we buy offshore, that's primarily who makes this type of equipment, we're pushing them pretty hard because we need the equipment today. We don't need it in 4 months from now. So some of it may be staged in our existing building as we wait for our new building to be built and add that equipment in. But we're training people today, and our growth, aggressively, we're looking to hopefully to fill what our immediate needs are with people we have today. And I think the last count we had, 20 some odd people? We've added about 50 since, I think it was about February. And the numbers that we're talking about here as far as people is basically between engineers, CNC machinists, technical support, maintenance, really fills out our operation. We're looking to go, if things go right for us down here, we could go to possibly about 275.
Wow.
As far as total.
Excellent.
So
Great.
It's, and again, I don't want to tip my hand. I mean, we have, we may be looking for, we've maxed out on the property we have right there. The building, the way we configure our equipment, we believe we have about 13,000 square feet left after we build the expansion. We've tried to maximize, and the city's been really great with us, maximize as much as we can get on the property itself. So the only way we can go is to, if you're looking straight at the building, to the right. So that would be an option for us. We're trying to find out who our neighbor is, and if that presents itself, that would where we would go next. So.
Just a question back
Sure.
to the training. How much time does it take to train a person? I guess it depends on what, you know.
Good question. Yeah,
Specific.
we have certain skill sets. What we call is our CNC level 1 machinist. Generally, you have to be very good in math skills, geometrical tolerances. You have to be able to do blueprint reading. And then our CNC level 4 is our highest skill folks. Very difficult to find 2, 3s, and 4s. So we have aggressively gone to a campaign to get underskilled folks, bring them in, train them, and it takes a good 3 to 4 months to get a good, an unskilled that has those basics, can pass the tests and so forth, get them to a CNC level where we can put them on a $300,000 piece of equipment without doing damage to it. So 3 to 4 months to get to that level, and then ultimately opportunity for most of our folks is endless. We have very little turnover in both facilities, very little turnover as a company. If they do leave, generally they're leaving because they're leaving the entire state to pursue something else. So most of, if not all, our folks have very much a quick opportunity to develop, to move up in the CNC level skill set, and also compensated with salary on that. And we have a number of in-house incentives too, which makes us attractive. We pick up 75% of insurance. We do a number of different monthly incentive goals to make sure we have and retain the best, most skilled folks.
So on the skill 1 levels, do those require college degrees, or do you?
No, most of my engineers doesn't require a college degree, although high school degree, we certainly have that. The qualifications to even get an interview from us certainly have to be no criminal background. You have to be pass the drug screens and all the basics, and we do the random throughout the year on everybody. But we want them to certainly have a high school diploma, and certainly be very skilled in those basic skills of math and reading tolerances and reading prints. That's really what our business does. A good machinist can do very well monetarily. Very well monetarily. I think I read recently, if it was accurate in the paper, what the average salary can be in Volusia County. We certainly will exceed that by far. And we offer overtime right now. We're offering an incentive because we'd like to be running 24 hours, 7 days a week. Right now, we are running 3 shifts. We're running 6. We need extra people to do the Saturdays and Sundays. We're offering double time for those folks. And with the new facility, we expect to be running 24. We will be running 24/7. That's how we're selling our capacity.
Steve, the difference, I guess, between Ohio and Florida is Ohio right to work state?
No, that's the difference.
Okay.
It's also heavily unionized up in Ohio, too.
I understand, but there's qualified folks up there.
Yes.
But there's a lot of people here. Is it better sometimes to train them than have somebody that's been working for 20 years in the business that may have brought with them maybe bad habits?
Tribal knowledge.
Yeah, there you go.
We like to diplomatically say, yes. We've taken, and again, we use it, we'd rather it'd be easy for us so I could find skilled labor. In the Ohio market, matter of fact, that facility is situated between Cleveland and Columbus. There is a GM plant that had 6,000 people, and they closed the facility. So and unemployment up there is running, in that particular area of Crawford County, is running almost 15, 16%. So I do have a selection of candidates up there. They're not necessarily all machinists. They're in assembly. So on a fair, level playing field, I do like the fact that, yes, I can take workers that have the basic skills, again, the math, that can read a map and understand it, take them from unskilled and make them skilled labor. Because we had somebody in place, we've just made it official, we have put in-house full-time training manager. He is actually working with ATC to train the trainer. Right. He's, matter of fact, up in Ocala right now for a week worth of training, and he's got a staff that'll be working for him, where we will be dealing with the new facility, or even with the existing facility. We're building a training lab in there where they're actually working on model equipment before they're actually touching on machines. So Yes, we like this, take from zero base and bring them all the way up.
So workforce, ATC, school system, DSC, they're all kind of working together to help you out with that?
Matter of fact, I'll share with you just something else that we just did, and I don't know if it's appealing for this community. If we can't find it, we're just doing an experiment right now, advertising in the, and I think it'll break this weekend, down in the Melbourne area, where we will subsidize busing to bring folks from that market up here, and if it works, we will bring it from Orlando to here, and if that works, then we'll bring it from Jacksonville. So we're working with the Volt Train and a couple other things. The governor's office is interested in that kind of approach, but we want to tap our local market first. That's certainly, I like skilled labor, or we'll train skilled labor in this market because they're in their backyard.
Okay. Well, thank you, and we appreciate your efforts.
Sure. Thank you.
I'm going to ask one question real quick. As far as your suppliers, who are your biggest suppliers and where are they currently located? And would it be worthwhile to get them in touch with Carrie?
Sure. Most of our suppliers, I'd say the things that keep our plant running is our steel and our forgings. Most of our steel are coming from out of state, pretty much in the Rust Belt part of the area. Our forgings, two of our major forging suppliers are up in the Michigan area. We do support, we just brought in we are vertically integrating. We didn't do what we call plating, which is the coating, prevent stuff from rusting and so forth. We were very unhappy with the supplier base we had that was outside the state, and we were really not comfortable with the supplier base we did have inside the state, meaning Orlando. So we took the initiative of building it in-house. So we brought all the coating. We invested about $1.5 million in the equipment. We brought the talent in there. I think that particular department's up to 3 shifts. So it went from 0 people to about 15 people just in that department. So coating is now here. In reference to the other ancillary stuff, the small things from the supplies, it's local. I don't think there's anybody, without me looking at our list, I don't think there's anybody in the immediate market that as far as raw goods, necessary supplies, certainly the contractors we do, from our AC people to our electrical. We use a lot of local if my maintenance guys can't do it.
Who are your clients?
We do, we have a number of clients in the business we're in. We do direct with the government. About 5% of our business is government direct. We do a lot with, on the aerospace side, we have a company called ACI who's across over on the West Coast, who is owned by Safran, who is a French aerospace company, has about 400 different divisions. With the ACI, the end user is Boeing, where we do Boeing and Pratt & Whitney, where we make component parts for their fuel systems. In reference to our defense side is companies that maybe recognize as some folks, Colt, new contracts from Colt, company out of Connecticut. We're doing a lot of their business, and we'll be doing a lot more down here. 6 Hour out of New Hampshire, we're doing business. We have Smith & Wesson. We have FN, that's out of South Carolina. We're in talks right now, as recently as yesterday. Nick was up in Iona, New York with Remington. Remington is basically, Cerberus is a major conglomerate. They bought and developed a company called Freedom Group, which they enfolded a number of different arms companies under that. They are looking to basically consolidate their supplier list from where they have 200 suppliers down to 10 suppliers. They're very interested in our quality and our delivery performance. Matter of fact, Nick and company, and I was on a conference call with them yesterday. They have a 5-year government contract which supplies parts for the warfighting soldier. We're one of the few companies that provide mil-spec requirements for military. They're looking to make us one of their 10 suppliers, which is really where the next level of this business will probably go. I mean, it's just a matter of we can agree on pricing and terms. So it's not so much they want us badly. The question is how much do we want to give them of our business? So those are just a few of the major customers we're dealing with.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
I make a motion to approve it for the application.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Frank.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Thank
I
you.
do have one comment regarding busing persons from other areas
Yes.
into here, to get workers. The city is cooperating with a couple of businesses in town where they will offer incentives if the purchaser wants to purchase in their downtown area. The other piece is, as a business that we've helped with incentives, we have, it's not enough to call it a down payment assistance program, but it's a recognition and an award program that we can, if somebody wants to purchase a home in Daytona Beach, we'll recognize them.
That's important. Okay. We'll make sure we get that. That's great. Sure. I mean, we were looking, to add to that point, we were going as crazy as we were looking to get housing, buy housing for temporary. And again, this is a sidetrack. If we can't find the labor out of our Chicago office, I have them actually looking into, we're contacting the diplomatic sources over there for Ireland to bring labor over here. So it's a question of, if they come over here, they can only have a period of time of 8 months. We are looking more for long-term, but it's a thought process we're looking at this point.
One other thing, back to the training again, we have 5 universities, is that right, here in this community? Maybe more
In
than
the
that
area.
if you go down a level. Have you done any specific recruiting to the universities?
Yes, matter of fact, that's one of the things we've been pushing very hard for. We do have a intern program with, or we work with interns with Embry-Riddle. Matter of fact,
Okay.
I have one, maybe 2 folks right now that we're looking to mentor long-term. ATC, we spend a lot of time over there. We are looking and have been looking even at the high school level. We like to bring a couple people work into the accounting department. Those get a feel. So we're pursuing that. My HR person would probably be better on where we're tapping the colleges, but between about 12 different sources that we're looking for people, that is probably our greatest weakness, finding skilled labor in the market. We'll get there. It's just we need them yesterday.
Right.
It's so funny that we're running such a high unemployment rate.
Oh, crazy.
And then you can't get people with skills.
We did, I hope I'm not taking everybody's time, we did an interesting thing about 4 months ago. We did what we called a job fair. We did a very heavy advertising campaign between radio, TV, and a number of flyers and contacting everybody. And in that ad, we specifically looked for, this is the skill sets we're looking for. And it was a show up on a Saturday, but you had to have these skills. We had about 150 people show up with the intention of screening and interviewing. Unfortunately, out of that 150, there was not a lot of skilled folks. But what we found, and we actually hired 10 people out of that group, but what we found is the enormous number of people that had a desire and had the incentive that wanted to be trained. So that's where we said, these are the people we're going to tap into if we can't find it.
Right.
We are working with this time-wise right now. We gave them 60 of those candidates. They're going to do the screening for us, and if any of those qualify, we'll take that unskilled labor and train that. So that's going on as we speak.
Good.
So-
Good. Well,
Thank you.
so
Thank
much,
you.
Mr. McLean. Would you like to join in here and make some comments? I think I said it already. Since you came already, I wanted to.
Yeah, Carol, it's called Don't Trump the Boss.
Don't trump the boss. Well, I just want to make sure if you wanted to.
I appreciate it.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? Now you have met Carrie from the Team Volusia, I assume.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, as Paul asked, Steve probably actually had heard your name after you've been joining the Manufacturers Council of the Alliance, so see you coming to lunches. But I am with Team Volusia. Carl asked that question because the way our local businesses really impact our recruitment efforts. Our organization is now, has divided labor with the county to focus solely on the contractual business, so, along with the business line.
Sure.
So congratulations on your efforts.
Thank you.
Sounds terrific,
Super.
yeah. Emery?
Carrie's report.
Oh, Carrie, would you like to give a report?
Is your mic on, Carrie?
I'm sorry?
Is your mic
Is your mic
on?
on?
Yes, it isn't. Yes, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3. Oh, Paul, apologies. I don't think I printed out enough for you or I. That is our second quarter report. I actually will be providing an update to the county council on the 9th. which is Thursday. And this go-around, we'll do that jointly, a big economic development presentation. It'll be Rob Earhart, myself, Rick Frazier with Workforce, and Steve Cook with the airport. So it should be a good show. Really, I think of interest to this group is that business development pipeline in the back representing maybe 1,100 jobs potential. You can see most of those are just inquiries at this point, stage 0, where maybe a consultant has passed along a lead, or in many cases it's the state economic development organization. I wanted to make a comment. I had something down here. Carl, you pointing out, asking that question, to give an update about Team Volusia. We've shared about the division of labor, that the county's going to focus on local business assistance. Team Volusia and the CEO Business Alliance is focused solely on recruitment of new business in. Those two things are still integral to one another. And so the next step for us, now that we've figured out kind of process, protocol, who's doing what, how does this work, is now how do we become very competitive with that? How do we take this to the next level and ensure that both things are done very, very well? Interesting enough, Rob, Rick, Carl, and myself have a meeting with manager Deneen today, and we can touch on some of these things. But the business surveys or the business visits, when they go out, how can we link those two together so that those questions are asked almost in a systematic manner? And then I was talking to the DeLand Chamber, who has contracts with Orange City and the City of DeLand to do these visits. How can I put some of my questions in there, and that feedback can come back to the right organizations, not just mine, but education as well, to inform those groups. How do we, structure our programs? How do we, modify our strategy to really address what businesses are saying? So the local businesses, the maintaining critical mass, that's what I wanted to say. As I'm talking to manufacturers, this shortage of skilled labor force is a national trend. And again, it started back in the day. This, K through 12, it's just how our schooling has been. And so we are starting now, Paul and I actually chair a subcommittee with the Career Academy cadre to look at the K through 12. How do you start to get them exposed to the great jobs that are out there in manufacturing, and really encourage them to look at that? But that's a long-term solution. So today, the best solution is having a company like this in our backyard that I can say, not that I want them to poach by any means, but that they can actually be a testimony to how they are able to overcome this national shortage in skilled workforce, and still be able to maintain optimal operations. So again, I'm so enthused to see you all have passed that incentive. I'm glad to have them here. Any questions on that report? That's just a standard where we are. You can see our cash balance is tremendous, and that's simply in light of during this interim period we've really tried to hold back until some things were worked out. August 8th, actually, there will be the interview, so we'll see what direction the organization takes. I'm feeling like regardless, we've got such good momentum going in this community, it'll maintain regardless what happens. But all that cash really will be tied to an activity, so I don't want anyone thinking we gave you money to just sit there on it. It will be spent, hopefully be spent in a way that's going to be very impactful. So, questions?
Nope.
Anybody? Carl? You just give too good a report.
Thank you, Gary.
It's covered.
That, or you all just want to get out of here. So.
Any other business? There are no citizens out there. You sure you don't want to say something? Based on our schedule for the next meeting, it will be October 17th, is that right?
Yes.
Unless there's a special.
That's correct. We were going to meet on the 15th. We moved it to accommodate what we have to do today. And we don't normally meet in September, so that moves us to October.
Okay. Well, we'll look forward if you have
If we have a special call
thing,
meeting,
we'll all
I'll
be
certainly
here.
give you a
Yes.
call.
Move for adjournment.
Second?
Yeah.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Thank you all for coming this morning.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, gentlemen. It was really
Good.